Okay, this is part 2. This is the most common problem in all carburetors everywhere around the world. I'll tell you what it is and then I'll show you. It's when you leave your bike sitting for 6 months during the winter and you didn't drain the fuel out of the carburetor. Well, gas naturally evaporates. Fuel evaporates. But gasoline or petrol is made up of many, many different chemicals. And when the liquid part of the gasoline evaporates, it leaves a very gummy, thin, oil-like material, which you can see right here. And you can see it kind of looks like honey, all right? Now, this carburetor's been sitting for a year, and it hasn't been on a bike, but what that is evaporated fuel or gas. Now, let me show you what it looks like on the end of a Q-tip, right here. If we go down and move this, this is what it looks like. Let's see if I can get this automatic leveler to see what it looks like. Now, picture that just think if that was like honey. Okay? Now that can further evaporate. Now this is what happens. Now, suppose you get on your bike after you've had it sitting 6 months. You start the bike up. It starts up for about 5 or 6 seconds and quits. You give it some gas, quits. You can put some starter fluid down the gullet right here, and it'll start up real quick and quit. Now I'll show you what the problem is. And this happens to a lot of bikes, and you can see the stuff's right there. What happens is, you see that the main jet right here? This is the main jet, the one sticking up right there, the little brass one. What happens is, with all the fuel that's in this bowl right here, which is right in here, that fuel, say you have it up here, and it evaporates to the bottom of the bowl because you have this on your bike, and a little bit of it gets right in here inside the main jet. And there's a little tiny hole in that main jet. And this gummy, gooey, bullshit crap gets in there and dries. So you know what you have with your main jet? You have a clogged main jet. Because it needs to be open to have fuel that goes up through the jet and sprays out into your engine. Now remember what I said before. I'm trying to make this as easy in layman terms as I can. Remember what I said before about the carburetor. The pilot jet, or the slow jet, which is on top right here. Not that is a vent tube, but this little tiny one in there, and you can see it's got a little tiny screwdriver can take that out. That almost never gets clogged, never, because it's too big, I guess. That is what happens when you start your bike and a little tiny bit of gas goes up that starter jet or pilot jet, and you get a tiny bit of gas in your motor and it starts. But remember that this starter jet is only good from 0 to 25% of your throttle range. Therefore, the minute that little bit of gas goes through there, then the rest of the gas needs to go through the main jet hole, which is right here. If that main jet hole is clogged, then your bike will stop immediately. What you need to do is take your carburetor apart. You see it's got a screw right there, and it's got a screw right there. First you want to empty it, because if you leave it kind of full and you go to empty it, you'll get stale gas all over it. You can smell stale gas. Remember that gasoline And I don't know how many of you know this, but I studied gasoline and I studied everything I could about the bikes to know a little bit more about the problems that come up. Gasoline is only fresh for 30 days. After that, it goes stale. Now, if you think about all the millions and millions of gallons in gas tanks around the world, gas doesn't last no 30 days. Not in cars that are constantly using it. It just doesn't work that way. It's gone because we use millions of gallons a day. So what you need to do is get yourself a little socket and you unscrew this right here. Not the inner part. Just this jet right here. And you be very careful because it's brass. It's made out of brass, soft metal, so that they can drill different size holes in it for different size jet holes. What you do is you take that out. All right? And you take your little jet. I'll see if I might have some jets over here, but I'm positive that I'm not going to find the damn things, because the minute you need the jets when you're on camera, like right here, then you can't find them. Now these are your main jets right here. All right, now different carburetors use, oh, it's going to be 3-part series. Okay, we'll go into jets, and when you guys get done with this 3-part series, all of you are going to be able to take your carburetors apart, put them back together, and get them working if they're not. So some asshole doesn't charge you $65 an hour and spend 2 minutes fixing it while laughing at you at the same time. On to part 3.